Hello everyone. I want to introduce you to this woman right here. Her name is Annie Jump Cannon, and she was a Deaf American astronomer. Annie Jump Cannon was born in 1863 in Dover, Delaware. She became deaf at a young age due to the illness scarlet fever. Her mother taught her so many things growing up. Her mother taught her mathematics and economics and how to identify the constellations in the sky. Annie used to sit at her attic window and study the stars using an old astronomy book her mother gave her. Annie went on to Wellesley College in 1880, one of the top academic schools for women at that time. There at Wellesley, she studied physics and astronomy and ended up graduating valedictorian in 1884. This photograph of her below is her with her classmates. After graduation, she began to study photography, which was a new invention at that time, and spectroscopy in the hopes of one day photographing the constellations. Annie taught physics for 10 years while taking graduate courses and pursuing her master's degree at the same time. In 1894, she decided to enroll herself in Radcliffe College in the astronomy department in order to be physically near the Harvard College Observatory. Being enrolled in Radcliffe would give her access to a much bigger telescope at this observatory. It was here at the Harvard College Observatory that she met a man named Edward Pickering, who ran the observatory. Two years later, Pickering hired her to be his assistant at the observatory. In 1896, he specifically chose her to begin organizing and classifying all of the stars based on two factors: the stars' temperatures and their spectral types. Pickering would end up classifying her as the only person in the world, man or woman, who can do this work so quickly. With the help of Pickering and a group of women scientists, Annie created the Harvard classification scheme, which organized and cataloged every known star in the entire universe. This type of classification system and cataloging had never been done before, and her system is still the same system that we use today, around 150 years later. Astronomy students are still taught to use the mnemonic she created, "Oh, be a fine girl, kiss me," as a way to remember her stellar classification system, with OBAFGKM. That helps them remember Annie's stellar classifications. In 1911, Annie was made the curator of the astronomical photographs at Harvard. In 1914, Annie was admitted as an honorary member of the Royal Astronomical Society. In 1921, she became one of the first women to receive an honorary doctorate from a European university. In fact, 4 years later, in 1925, she received a second one from Oxford University. Annie Jump Cannon manually classified more stars in her lifetime than anyone else in history, with a total of around 350,000 stars. She discovered 300 variable stars, 5 novas, and 1 spectroscopic binary, creating a bibliography that included about 200,000 references. When Annie first started cataloging the stars, she was able to classify 1,000 stars in 3 years. But by 1913, roughly 20 years later, she was able to work on 200 stars an hour. Cannon could eventually classify 3 stars a minute just by looking at their spectral patterns, and if using a magnifying glass, She could classify stars down to the 9th magnitude, which is roughly around 16 times fainter than the human eye can physically see. Annie Jump Cannon's career in astronomy lasted for over 40 years until she finally decided to retire in 1940. She didn't have children and she never married. Her family to her were the stars in the sky. Despite her retirement, however, she continued to actively work on astronomy in the observatory up until just a few weeks before she died. Cannon's work really helped women gain acceptance and respect within the scientific community, especially in the astronomical community. After being ill for over a month and hospitalized, Cannon died in 1941 at the age of 77. Her calm and hardworking attitude helped her gain respect throughout her lifetime and paved the path for future women astronomers everywhere. The American Astronomical Society presents the Annie Jump Cannon Award annually to female astronomers for their amazing work in astronomy. Annie Jump Cannon was an amazing, brilliant woman who really established the pathway for how we learned how to identify and classify the stars of the universe, and also paved the way for future women astronomers and scientists. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you. Goodbye.